All right, let's go. We're on. Hello, Dejan, or Deki, founder of 10th Planet Belgrade and the first 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in the Balkan area, and also the very first 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu that I ever visited. And this is why we're here today. We've been in touch for like more than 4 years now, and you have substantially helped shape my jiu-jitsu journey. And I would like to, cover all of that a little bit. So I also want to like give you a little bit of my story on how I actually got to meet you guys. So, I told you I'm half Slovenian, half German, but my mom's parents were actually Serbian. But I never actually was in Serbia until I met you guys. And you guys, I only met through jiu-jitsu when I was in Amsterdam competing. So back then I was still working for like one of the biggest food delivery companies in the world, and I just got demoted. I was country manager beforehand, and then I was senior team lead and taking care of the people. And it was, I had a little bit of an ego break, but while I was demoted at the same time, just afterwards, I got my blue belt, and I was able to deal with my ego and everything a little bit better. So I just enjoyed the hell out of my life and was making sure that I was meeting the people that I needed to talk to and meet and do a few nice travels, right? So I knew that I wanted to go to Amsterdam and Berlin once more. So I checked the grappling industry's calendars and made sure that those aligned. So I went to Berlin first, did my first matches at blue belt, got completely screwed. One of like a Dutch guy that I didn't know beforehand that later on became my friend, Bart Dubeldam, ankle locked me within the first 15 seconds or something, and I became a highlight reel. We became friends, and then I saw he's competing in Amsterdam again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Amsterdam and compete there. And I'm sitting on the train alone, and there's this guy who just needed to pee, and he's like, hey, can you watch my bag? Like, yeah, cool. And then we started talking, and I figured from his accent he's German. And then we switched to German. Like, yeah, you're here alone. It's like, yeah, I am. And he's like, yeah, he's here with his team. And like, okay, who's your team? 10th Planet. I was like, oh, okay, 10th Planet Amsterdam. I was like, yeah, also, but actually 10th Planet Belgrade. I was like, what? Okay, that's interesting. So this guy was Leo. You know him as well. And I just followed him. I was alone on the grappling industries competition, and Leo was coaching me, and I just hung out with you guys. And after the competition, I just stuck with you, and I went to Amsterdam to the city with you guys because we're a little bit outside, and then went to you guys with to the Bulldogs Hotel. And I remember, like, this is why I'm saying this. Like, of course, in Amsterdam, you know what happens, and I had fun with a few of your students and stuff. But like, I remember this epic moment where you stuck this kind of sticker, exactly that sticker, on like a lamppost in the Bulldog Hotel. Years later, I would come back to the 10P Amsterdam camp and I would see that sticker, and it really changed my life. After I met you guys in Amsterdam, I decided, okay, I'm gonna come visit. So I came and visited 10P Belgrade for the first time, and it was my first 10th Planet experience. And I get there, and it's this garage kind of looking thing, a little bit underground, next to like this half broken house kind of. It's like, it was super exciting. And then behind you on the background, these dragons, in a different form, were on the garage door, and like on the other one as well. And it was just something so magical that I'd never seen before. And I entered it, and it looks exactly like it does now. This 10th Planet theme goes through. You're really entering a new planet. And this, sorry for the long introduction, but you needed it. This is why I want to have you on today. And yeah, I want to hear about your journey. How did you start in Belgrade and come to be a 10th Planet black belt in a freaking record-setting time? I know we were talking when you were still a brown belt. I wanted to do a podcast with you back then. He's like, the journey is not finished yet. And then once you got your black belt, you're like, yeah, bro, now the podcast can come. Then I needed a little bit more time, and now we're here. So now, Deki, how have you been, and what has happened in Belgrade?
Good, brother. Good to talk to you. Thanks for the invite, and I'm always happy to share basically any insight. The quick recollect of the story that you said. It's super funny. Like I just got to rewind back a bit those days, early days when we just basically got started, and Leo, of course, a good friend of ours. Now, basically, the whole story started with. me kind of dreaming whether jiu-jitsu is even possible to train in whatever it was, 2020 at that time, or no, I started to officially 2017. But if you imagine jiu-jitsu, I imagine it like some ancient martial art that you do on top of a mountain. You know, it's not the same approach as basically we are doing these days. And I'm so happy that I kind of dared to put my toes into this sport because it just opened my eyes to a whole new world of possibilities. So yeah,
How did it start for you? How did you dip your toes?
technically, like anybody, I was first intrigued because of UFC and fighting and kind of this more brutal part of submissions and so on and so forth. But to be honest with you, I never really wanted to hurt people. Of course, fighting every man should know how to fight, but I never wanted to hurt people. I felt like being able to de-escalate through grappling exchange and a threat of basically a break or make the person fall asleep and then you can just leave, basically. Felt like a much more humane option to de-escalate rather than, el elbow striking somebody and breaking open their skull. You know, it's a valid way to de-escalate, don't get me wrong. I mean, guns are a valid way to de-escalate. All sorts of things are a valid way to de-escalate. But I just wanted to basically, if shit hits the fan, have that kind of ability. Um I looked around for some gyms and I saw basically there were a couple of gyms around. To be honest, even back then I saw that Old School is actually the gym I should go to, the one at Bano Brdo, but it was super far away from me. It was super inconvenient for me to go there, like, more 40 minutes there and back and wasting a bunch of fuel, and I just didn't have those resources at the time. So basically, I just checked for the closest gym near me. I'm super happy that I was able to find Kimura and the guys that I started with. They were super tough, kind of, fundamental roots, like going hard ass, like macho kind of gym. I don't know how to explain it, like, but
Hoja, Brazilian style.
yeah, but it was a great environment for me at the time because I really felt that I could, push myself physically and mentally beyond what I felt any normal person would be doing at the same time. And I felt that if I was pushing myself, uh, this, I felt it's fun to do jiu-jitsu because there's a shadow version of myself that I need to defeat. And that other person is training every day and trying his best to, overcome me. So I got to do everything I can to beat the shit out of that guy. So basically, being in a super tough environment was super fun for me at the time. But to be honest with you, long term, I didn't find it was really the best environment because they were a gi-based school, as 80% of the gi schools are. So basically, I thought, okay, I can train only 2 times per week, no gi, or I can train as much as I can, like 4 or 5 times per week, and train both gi and no gi. So might as well do that, and then see how far I can push it. And then one thing led to another. Like you mentioned, I became reasonably good at this game pretty quick, and like even over a period of a short amount of time. But I went into it obsessively, I went into it like a madman, even night and day. Everything was about jiu-jitsu. Uh, and then eventually, uh, I figured out that if I want there to be a change in the jiu-jitsu scene, if I'm not so enthusiastic about the way that it's looking at the moment, I should actually make a change. But the fucked up thing for me was it was only about a few years into my journey where I had to already separate from my coach and go for my kind of 10th planet journey. And so um, the tough thing was that, to be honest, my first coach didn't really approve of my kind of no-gi ways. And so, but ultimately, his disapproval was actually the best thing that we could have at the time because it made us kind of want to prove ourselves a bit more, if you understand what I mean. So the first few years were definitely a challenge, but basically the way it got started is the same way like you, almost. It's I started here training, and I wasn't so much kind of enthusiastic about the way things are going here, and I was trying to find better ways, better approaches, better systems, and so on and so forth. And 2019, Eddie actually came to Amsterdam to give a seminar. So I was like, okay, I have to somehow manage to go there. And with the support of my dad, I was able to buy tickets and attend that camp. And actually, that's where my jiu-jitsu changed completely. I went from a more kind of classical approach to all of a sudden, like, way more being accepting of the modern kind of crazy approach and versions and so on and so forth. And even though I'm like 100 kilos guy, I always try to emulate the style of like 60 kilos, like fluid movements, precision, angles, not just forcing things and so on and so forth. And then basically, I met Lauri, who's the head coach of Tampere, Finland. And he was the one who noticed that I have this kind of obsessive approach as well, because he's, for example, he's also mostly self-taught in 10th Planet. He was never formally, trained in the 10th Planet system. He basically started to teach even as a white belt, and then very quickly became blue belt and purple belt under Magnus, under Sweden, Stockholm. And then the same, it's super funny because we have like 80% the same story, like tough, original environment, and then this new hope of trying to build something. And basically, because he recognized that it's an opportunity for him to pay it forward, I think he really wanted to kind of do his best to support me into making this 10P Belgrade a reality. And long story short, it took three main people, which is, of course, first of all, Eddie as the founder of the system and the one who was able to inspire me to do this shit in the first place. Second of all, Lauri. And third, my father. Well, I count myself too because somebody's got to pull the trigger, but those are the guys who basically enabled this in the first place. So super enthusiastic that we made it real. But yeah, we basically manifested my dream into reality. Now it's like every day, no gi only. We're just doing crazy inverted moves, leg locks left and right. This month we're doing a month of truck and twisters. So it's epic. It's literally my dream come true, man.
Yeah, I love your story. I love what you're saying, and I have a few questions. I mean, I've trained with you now. I was in Belgrade 3 times. I think it was in total like almost 4 weeks that I spent with you. I did a few privates with you, and I can definitely attest to you moving like a 60-kilo guy. Like I feel like you're moving like a snake. That's the feeling that I have when you're moving. It's like there's arms and legs everywhere all the time, and they're not just hammering. Like when you hammer hooks in, you don't do that. You're like sliding everything in, and like I learned angles. That's such a big thing that you always say. So you have such like back then when I was training with you for the first time, I already had visited other classes. I started jiu-jitsu in Roger Gracie in Graz, but beforehand already in Thailand a little bit and a little bit at university. And then when I moved to Innsbruck, like Roger Gracie, Graz was my first base basically, and they always did gi in the winter and no gi in the summer because it was hot, and yeah. So this is how I got into it, but I basically left the gi place or the gi space when they started no gi. So in the beginning I was totally a gi guy, and only later on I started dabbling with no gi. But how was that for you? I know you trained at Kimura, you did the old school stuff, but coming from there and going to 10th Planet, that's like a huge gap. How did you find that?
So it's a little bit funny because even when I started Kimura the first day, I already went there as kind of I don't know, almost soft branded as a 10P guy, because to be honest with you, I did even lock down on my girlfriend before my first class. So basically, I was like, "Girl, come here. I have to try something." She was like, "What the fuck?" And we didn't even have spats. So like the skin was sticking and it was uncomfortable. It was like fucked up. But I still tried it, and I did like electric chair on her. And of course, she's super flexible, so it didn't work. And I was like, "Damn, okay." maybe it's not gonna work. But then I went to my first class and I actually tried to apply the lockdown, and I can't say I've swept somebody, but at least I managed to stay safe for a while, or at least I was able to control them. Then very quickly it turned into sweeps and so forth. But for me, it's funny because even like back then, people were making fun of, he's doing those 10p moves, bullshit that doesn't work, and so on and so forth. And I still remember my first coach back then, Uroš Čulić, because Gila was gone for a while at some summer holiday or something. So Uroš Čulić was actually teaching us for the first month. It was fucking insane boot camp for a month. And he basically told the guys who were making fun of me, like, okay, if that's a bullshit move that doesn't work, you're easily gonna defeat it and you're gonna move on. So what's the fucking problem? Why do we need to spend so much time making fun of it? So I was like, fuck yeah, man. I'm actually gonna try to dibble dabble into it. And then lockdown turned into truck turned into rubber guard turned into leg locks. A couple of months into my journey, some guys from Australia came and they opened my mind to the principle of, you don't want to do your first knee bar when you get your brown belt. Because, for example, IBJJF bans slicers, knee bars, so on and so forth. Like, half of the fucking submission game is locked behind some unnecessary kind of,
Arbitrary rules.
Yeah, arbitrary, yeah, exactly. It's like the forbidden part of the library. You're not meant to access it. Like, oh, whatever, bro. Like, relax. It's just knowledge. If you apply things safely, it's gonna be safe. If you apply things just like fucking spaz out of control, it's gonna be like shit. So it's up to you at the end of the day. So we were saying about
the Australians came and basically told you
said
should be
about
knee
leg
bars.
locks. So yeah, Uroš basically told me about that the 10p game should be open. The Australians told me that the leg locks game should be open. And then basically the whole time I was watching Eddie stuff and saying how I should have open mind and let things come. Like, if things work, use it. If they don't work, fucking, figure it out, throw it away, or find out why it doesn't work. Eventually it's basically a lot of kind of obsessive self-learning that you have to do in order to get these techniques. The beautiful thing, though, is because it was already 2017 when I started, I already pretty much had a lot of the resources available online. The only thing that's a little bit tricky is that I didn't have the 10p stuff available online. So to be honest, it was such amazing kind of circumstance back then that I had a friend who was also training at 10p Stockholm and moved to Belgrade for a few years to train with us there. He's now living in Brazil, having a great life. Basically he was able to share with me Gio and Boogie's kind of 10p warm-ups, and then we were going to his place and drilling that at home. So where there's a will, there's a way. You're gonna figure out what you need and then chase that until you get it, bro. You understand what I mean? But yeah, the ultimate kind of trigger point where I felt that it's actually maybe 1% possible to make 10p Belgrade a reality was in 2019 when I visited Amsterdam, when actually the guy who founded 10p Beirut, I believe he told me, bro, anything is possible. Work for it, try your hardest. But you know what was scary for me, for example? That year, Elu Karpinen, Laura's wife, she got her black belt. But Eddie that year added the rule that you have to be a 10th planet black belt to open an academy. And I was like, okay, shit, when am I going to be a black belt? It's like 2019 and I'm like a blue belt, and who knows when I'm going to be able to, get to black belt. But I was like, okay, it's 1% possible. Let's work tomorrow to make it 2% possible. The next day, and who knows, maybe or if it's not going to work, who cares? At least I tried. And then basically I came back from Amsterdam. I went to the first ADCC of Serbia, because before then we only had like IBJJF style competitions and so. And I went to compete in the pro category, and as a blue belt, I managed to put a black belt in a twister. It was the most insane thing ever for me, because for months before that, I was like hyper focusing on trying to make the twister kind of in a competition. And I didn't believe it was gonna happen, if you understand what I mean. But I don't know how or why, but it's insane. It's insane that kind of I have the first official ADCC twister of the heavyweight category of ADCC Serbia. But yeah, that was when I knew like this has to be the case. Like I have to chase this 10P dream. And I basically sent a message to Lauri, told him, bro, the detail you showed me how to open the marsh, I used that to twist the fucking black belt. It's like, we have to work together. Like, I need more 10P resources. And if you're willing to share, like, let's figure out a way for me to become an international student of yours. You know, I don't need like a coach to tell me what I need to do, but I do need like a mentor to point the way for me to kind of give me guidance in the sense he already, it's so incredible to because even now I call him every now and again and like look for advice and stuff, because him being kind of 10 years ahead of me, he has gone through all of these things ahead of time, and he like predicted certain things. I was like, yeah, maybe not. And he was like, you will see, wait. And then like it actually became real also what he said, motherfucker. But he is kind of able to see things, also the good and the bad things ahead. I'm more looking for the good things ahead, so to say. But yeah, and that's basically how it went. A bunch of self-obsessive learning of 10P systems, combined with connecting with the right people at the right time, combined with the incredible amount of luck of kind of having the environment where I can push myself to actually, you know, become this version of myself, and then a huge amount of will to get there. Kind of nothing else.
I would call it obsession. You said it a few more times, but you're really obsessed, and you're also such a
Yeah,
perfectionist. Like, yeah, I
things
can
don't
see you
happen
just
by
like,
themselves. I really believe that, and I think in order to get things to a high level, and I really wanted that because everybody around here is doing jiu-jitsu in a kind of savage level, like brutal, hard. So I don't want that. I want the technical kind of more artistic approach. Maybe it's not so much, I don't know, combat effective in a cage, but the understanding that I'm able to kind of achieve, I believe at least, gets me a much more beautiful look at this art. So there is the martial aspect, there's the art aspect. These days, I really prefer to focus on the art side.
yeah, that's super interesting. And I was just thinking, as you said, like art, sports, what is it? And I think like there's so many different things that you can understand that jiu-jitsu can be or gives you, right? Like, or you can take different things, right? At some level, at some point, you become a little bit better, right? And it's not gonna be as much sport for you. You rolling with me, a 60-kilo guy, right? Like, even though I'm a purple belt, it's still, you know, it's still not gonna be super sporty activity, but it can be super artsy. You know, like
Yes.
you can abuse me in a very artsy way, and this is always the fun stuff. Like when you're getting dominated and when you're learning, and somebody is not like punishing you. You know, it's just like they're playing with you. And they're definitely playing their chess moves, but they're not just like grinding your face or, you know, like doing everything to get a submission. And this is something that I noticed with you guys was super different.
I feel like the old school guys really don't mind that kind of brutal catch as catch can approach. Is like, I'm gonna brutalize you in order to get to a submission. Whereas I feel if you're forced to use kind of dick moves, it shows a lack of options, right? If you had an option to do something better, you would, but you don't know any better, so you're just gonna put an elbow in his neck to make him get the arm loose. Fuck you, man. You should know better. You're advanced, like, because I mean, realistically, I'm seeing a lot of that in some people who should know better, if you understand. If a beginner does that, everybody should guide him in the room, you know. But it's a culture thing. Some people prefer to focus on the fighting aspect, and some people prefer to focus on the art, the achieving the submission, getting to the outsmarting your opponent, rather than using your physical attributes to achieve the victory, basically.
And I think this is something that jiu-jitsu actually provides. And you were saying it, yeah, learn the art or do the art, but I think it's actually about learning. You know, like I think that we all actually love to learn, especially when we're children. You know, like we're uninhibited, we can do anything. You know, and then like the world is a big playground, and little by little, right, the playground becomes smaller, and we are just like going down a line. And with jiu-jitsu, you're you're exploring a completely new universe. And you know, for example, I'm now 33 years old, and I moved several times in my life, and now I'm here in Innsbruck, and I have the best community ever, and I only found it in my 30s, and that's solely due to jiu-jitsu. And I feel like jiu-jitsu has this, as you said, also like this culture thing, right? Culture is super important to you. Like how do you create culture, right? Like, and I think it's the approach, and it's the approach of the coach and what he wants and what he wants for his students. And I think like in the past it was often like we have to be tough guys, right? We're opening a gym because we're the toughest, and then the other guys are gonna open a gym because they're even tougher, right? So that's the idea, right? And it definitely is good to have this kind of competition because it's gonna force innovation, but and it also allows you to create your own blue ocean market, basically, in in a place that already has everything. It already had jiu-jitsu, but still you created a new niche that was not there, and that is now filling up, right? And this is all because you're so invested in learning and growing, and also I feel like helping others learn. And I feel like this is what you've been giving me so much, like the way that you're learning, the way that you are looking at things. It's really not about fighting. It's really just about doing it the most efficient, most elegant, and yeah, most effortless way.
I always want to channel the truth of jiu-jitsu. I'm not doing jiu-jitsu. There is jiu-jitsu, and I need to kind of do what it is asking me to do rather than me doing shit, right? I'm not going to do a move. There's the more and less perfect, and you always have to aim for that perfection. And that approach basically led to all of this, what you're seeing now. But like you said, I think I was also super, super lucky because I had that local environment which was kind of stuck in those ways. I mean, still most of the schools are training in the gi and are kind of forcing the gi every now and again, even though, at least from my perception, majority of the scene moved on and they're like more into no gi these days. But yeah, still, it's even funnier that a person like me who was obsessed with no gi all this time uh, that did actually come full circle, and I'm actually these days appreciating more and more the role that kind of clothing has to play in the art of, in the kind of exchange of, uh, well, yeah, grappling, well, whatever you want to call it, jiu-jitsu. So it is a bit funny, but yeah,
So what, you're gonna put on a gi again?
not really. But if somebody wants to put on a gi, I don't mind to like baseball choke the shit out of them, or bow and arrow the living hell out. That sound, I still remember that sound of the rope. I
Oh,
don't know that sound. It like triggers some happiness in my soul. I don't know how to explain it.
yeah, bow and arrow is
Yeah.
one of the most satisfying things that you can do to somebody, I feel.
Yeah, in Nogi, the closest thing you can get to that is kind of like Unoshiro Sankaku, where you have
Mhm.
the guy sitting on the guy's head and you can like elbow him in the face, but you choose to submit him because you are able to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, like I was mentioning, we were super lucky to have an environment which was lacking this more nerdy approach, with kind of more open to basically, like you said, life kind of made us super different. Like we're going to the office every day, being worried about same things every day. And to be honest with you, I really did realize now when you said those things out loud, how much of a different life I'm leading now compared to one that I was leading 10 years ago before I started. So it's definitely something to appreciate how much you have to actually kind of give up and change your routine in order to step out of your comfort zone in order to achieve something like this. But then if you're willing to do that, you know, the limit is basically whatever you set it to be. And if, for example, your physical attributes may be stopping you from achieving some excellence on the podium, there's still ways for you to contribute and to be a part of the jiu-jitsu story. And what you said about the community factor, I think that's the most valuable part. And in that sense, I really believe that jiu-jitsu is like a religion in a sense, where we literally have like liturgies. I'm not sure what you call it, like, you know, those things where you come and the guy's reading and saying some things about the truth of that God or whatever. I'm not religious, so I don't ask me about that shit. But I'm very religious in the jiu-jitsu sense, so I'm very learned in the jiu-jitsu Bible, as you would say, and that was my goal. I wanted to become like an encyclopedia for my students, focusing on submission mechanics and submission defense mechanics as my kind of specialty, and then whatever they want to add to that, it's up to them. But I felt that's what jiu-jitsu is, the submission game itself.
Nice.
That's what I focused on.
So, and let's go back a little bit to the timeline story, right? Like you were getting in touch with Lauri and saying,
Yep.
"Hey, international student, let's get that going."
Yeah.
How did it continue from there? You still did not have your own gym, right?
No. So at the time, basically, I was still well, blue belt. I just came back from the competition, and I managed to submit that guy, and I was like, bro, we have to work together. He invited me to go to Finland, and I was like, hell yes. If it's possible for me to make it happen, I will. And that's again where my dad comes in, and with his support, basically all of this became so much easier. And again, because I don't want to downplay the role that has, you know, a lot of people these days are so obsessed with being, you know, self-made, whereas I really I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've gotten, that I just want to make sure that everybody who actually made it happen is able to get it done. Otherwise, basically, yeah.
Blue belt, no school yet. Your dad,
Going to Finland, went
yeah,
to Finland in, so the way it literally happened is June of 2019 is I got my purple belt. And as soon as I got,
from Kimura still, or like,
yeah, give me a second, just, I
yeah,
think that's better.
okay,
So I got a purple belt from Gila, yeah, from Kimura 2019 over the summer. And as soon as I did that, basically, I was already purple belt. So when I went to Finland, there was kind of, I didn't need to get promoted in a 10th planet sense, but I wanted to be an official 10th planet member in a way. And I felt that the gi system and the no gi system are two completely different schools. So basically what I felt is I want to kind of focus on my no-gi. And I asked Lauri if basically he felt that I was good enough to be an official 10P purple belt under their house in a way, because I always felt that him and Elu, so Lauri and Elu, they're my jiu-jitsu parents, like adopted parents in a sense. And basically their support. Elu was the first one who said that we will make 10P Serbia happen. Not me.
nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, basically with their support, I got a kind of to be official 10th planet purple belt under Lauri. And that's when I kind of announced that to my old coach, and he kind of took it a bit personally. He didn't like so much that he felt kind of I was only looking for my own interests, and I don't know exactly what. I felt, to be honest, that like Jean-Jacques Machado supported Eddie in his insanity and his crazy pursuits, that I would probably also get that support. But to be honest, also I was pretty young, so the way I approached it, I was just like saying it to him as a matter of fact, like that's how it's gonna be. And so I understand also why maybe he didn't like it so much. But then at the end of the day, he told me the best thing that I could hear. He said, "You can't have two coaches." So I'm like,
Mm.
okay, I'm going to choose the coach that I prefer, which is, of course, going to be Lowry, and the guy who's going to enable me to pursue this insane dream, which is basically Jiu-Jitsu. And then with Lowry's support, everything became possible. I started texting him back and forth. But as you remember, 2019, it's almost the years of the apocalypse start. So basically what happened is I came back in October and I started renting some karate gym from my own pocket money from my money from that I was earning from my own work, because I quit actually. Doesn't matter. Let's not get into that.
No. I want to. What did you work?
So basically, I worked, I finished my university studies and I started working for my dad's company because I felt that I owed to the family to contribute to the family business and so on and so forth. But then basically it didn't work out because my dad's kind of like old school 90s boss, if you understand. So it's his way or the highway, and I'd rather prefer the highway. I basically quit that and started to work just some random jobs like call center jobs, IT support and stuff like that for internet companies or like banks stuff. And then while doing that, I was just crazy training jiu-jitsu, like basically just all the time, doing jiu-jitsu shit. And yeah, finally, to get back to the other story, if you don't mind. So basically what happened is I came back with a purple belt. Gilib got a bit jealous and I decided to just go ahead and do whatever I'm going to do in any case. And yeah, what happened is fucking Corona hit. A few
So you
months
had the
into us.
karate gym. This is where I interrupted you.
Exactly, because that's when Corona hit. We were training as much as we can, and I started having this underground 10P crew because we couldn't become official 10th Planet School, but we could become like 10P Ronins, unofficial and being more kind of whatever unofficial. And then we pushed one thing to another, and then Corona hit, and then we couldn't do nothing, bro. Basically, those years I was training with old school, and basically I was teaching there when we could train, because sometimes also they didn't allow us to train because like they didn't COVID rules, they didn't allow us to to get together or whatever. But eventually, all that finished, and my dad was the biggest inspiration that year too, because he told me, no, while everybody else is scared shitless and sitting in their homes not doing nothing, this is when you're going to work. This is when you're going to prepare your project, and this is where by the time that everybody starts, you're going to be ready. You're not going to start your renovation when the Corona finishes. You're going to start now, so by the time it's done, you're going to hit the ground running. I was like, fuck yeah, we're going to do that. So then it was like a year and a half of like insanity of trying to rebuild this place into basically a dream come true gym. And yeah, by some fucking miracle, we managed to get it like into reality.
When
But
were the
we
doors
still,
open then?
but check this out. We still had the problem of the black belt rule.
Oh yeah.
What about like I was still a brown belt. Basically, I was purple belt, and then I was gonna get my brown belt like maybe a couple of years after my purple belt. So whatever, I got my purple belt 2019. So let's say 21 would be kind of a all right time. And basically at that time, the gym just about starts to be finished, and I'm like, we have to make this done somehow. And then I couldn't get to Lowry. Basically, he just needed to see me for 2 days to give me the fucking belt, but there's no way for me to travel because it's COVID times. So I literally had to like fucking James Bond get some fake meeting in Helsinki and somehow to let the border patrol let me through. And I just literally flew to Tampere for 3 days, trained every day, and got my brown belt, and then just went back home with a fucking brown belt, and officially opened in 2021. 10P Belgrade came true,
But
basically.
you're still a brown belt. What was it with Eddie's black belt rule?
So, uh, Lauri, even before I started officially the 10th Planet Project Pursuit, I was like, Lauri, there's that rule. What the fuck are we gonna do? Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna talk to Eddie. It's gonna be fine. Eddie trusts me. If it's some random guy, he's not gonna do it. But if I say it, it's gonna be fine. So I'm like, okay. And then just before opening the school, we get the brown belt, and then I remember Lowry can't reach Eddie for like weeks because Eddie is like a conspiracy theorist, and he decided that the only way he's gonna communicate is to smoke signals and I don't know, like fucking Pachi, I don't know what. But finally, somehow we managed to get to him, and then Lowry is like, "Oh, so we had that agreement. It's gonna be when he's a brown belt, and so. But is he a black belt now?" No, we had that agreement. You remember? Okay. The fuck, it doesn't matter. So by fucking sheer luck, somehow I don't know, it ended up being possible. And then a couple of years later, 2023, so officially kind of 6 years into my journey, I got to be the first 10th planet black belt of Serbia. It's insane fucking story, and all that from a dream and a joke. How I'm gonna make my own gym with blackjack and hookers. It's fucking insane, bro. I'm telling you. But yeah,
This is how the best stories in life are written. They start as a joke, right? But in every joke, there's a little bit of truth. A little bit of truth.
I wasn't gonna give up. If it was gonna be possible, I wasn't gonna give up, and somehow it did end up being a reality. So I'm happy I didn't. And to be honest, at some point, it changed from being something I kind of wanted to do for myself to being something that I wanted to give to the community. Like I felt it was something that I could, like some value that I could contribute more than, making myself rich, spending time to contribute to people's lives and people being able to overcome their fucking depressions and hard times in life, which is why I told you the religious aspects of jiu-jitsu are far more interesting to me these days. I mean, I've I feel that I have studied jiu-jitsu to an extent that I can share even the deeper looks, not just the technical aspect. So I'm trying to get people to relax and see the bigger picture. Let's see how far we push it.
Nice. So you mentioned something really nice now. So far, everything has been your origin story, right? And we talked about it yesterday as well when we talked about your business a little bit. Everything has been built on your shoulders. At I mean, of course, you had support and your father, coaches, etc. But when did the other people? Because in order to build a gym, to have a crew, to have a club, you needed to have the feeling that you have some support, that you're not the only crazy one who wants that, right? How did that happen?
So the first few years were super scary for me because of that exact thing that you said. Because I felt like, okay, uh, first of all, if I wanted to make money with jiu-jitsu as a business, uh, jiu-jitsu is first of all the wrong idea of money-making business. Second of all, in Belgrade, it's also not the most kind of rich environment, so it's not really the best thing to do. But to be honest, I didn't give a fuck about the business side. I wanted to make it here because I wanted to share it with these people because I felt that I could give something beautiful to my community, and it became like a passion project. And then I think that people really felt that energy. Even my first generation guys who joined, they uh, almost were going like obsessively, like every day as much as they could. And then only later on they started coming less and less once life obstacles get in the way and so on and so forth. But yeah, to be honest, very quickly, like within the first few years, we already got a stable base of students where I felt like, okay, we're all right now. But definitely did take, let's say, 3, 4 years until I felt like, okay, we can now slowly start to, I don't know, like we're fine. We're not gonna, fall apart as a business.
But how was it at the very start? Like because I remember I came to your gym. I think it was December 21, because
That's
I
that's
just
literally the beginning.
right.
That's
That's
literally the
when
beginning.
that's when they had just finished, or the sprayer was still there on the front door, just finishing the dragon. I was there like the day the dragon was finished, the day after, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and you
insane.
already had this amazing group of people. We were not too many. I remember the group pictures, and I have them. Like I'm gonna put them into the podcast as well, like the different years. Like how big the group grew. But it felt like you had this small core group. Also, the people that were in Amsterdam, a lot of them were still there.
Yeah.
Like, how did you find your first supporters? Like Jesus finding his first followers. You know, like, because you
So
cannot do it alone, right? Like,
yeah,
you
no,
need at
no,
least
for
one training
sure,
partner.
bro. And look, every time I see the like news club starting, even these days, it's like a group of 5, 10 people which are coming together and they're starting a new team and so on and so forth, or like 2, 3 people at least. Like it's rarely going to be like one person doing it. And to be honest, it wasn't me, just myself doing it. Like again, I appreciate that everybody is gonna attribute most of the kind of, I don't know, things to me, but it's not the case. There was a whole community of people, like I said, that were supporting me and to make it all possible. Uh, Even before I officially wanted to make 10P Belgrade like a reality, some people basically were already seeing that the way I was training is kind of more advanced, a little bit different, and so on and so forth. So uh, back in 2018, 19. So no, 19. I think it was when I officially quit Kimura. That was when actually some students from Kimura reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, some of these guys are like bullying us a little bit or something." I don't know how to say it in the right way, but basically they didn't feel welcome there anymore, and they wanted to come train with me in old school. So like, fuck yeah, man, come train with us. You know, we're gonna go, we're gonna be fine, and you know, who knows? Maybe in some time I might have a surprise for you in a year or two. You know, and yeah, they ended up really supporting this team a lot, and so. But yeah, life gets in the way. Mattia is now like a producer, going traveling the world, you know, doing a bunch of business stuff, and so it's like. I'm really proud of them, to be honest. It's not all about jiu-jitsu. I'm really happy for myself that I was able to achieve this for myself and to, you know, pay it forward and to make it possible for people. But not everybody has that same calling. So I don't want to press that on them, even though I really need to figure out a way to make the next generations kind of self-replicate themselves, if you understand what I mean. So that's still a challenge that I have to kind of overcome for the next kind of 5 to 10 years. Let's
Well,
see.
we talked about it yesterday, and I think you're in a good way, but the difficulty is that it was all your vision, and now you have to make it everybody's vision. And then you have to the culture carriers, they will emerge themselves. Like the people who want responsibility, they will come up. But you did so great. You created something so freaking magnificent. You created a Magnus Opus, and now like the way that you're teaching, it's super super hard to replicate. And I think this is why you created like a little bit of a difficult position for yourself now, because you have really high standards. Your people have really high standards. And yeah, then always like as soon as you start scaling or basically like delegating, letting other people take over classes, yeah, well, it will not be the same as you did it. But maybe some other people like it even more. And that's also scary, you know, like there all of the ego thing comes in but that's also why we're doing jiu-jitsu, right? We're constantly fighting our own egos and finding these reflections that the mats bring in real life, right? And sometimes you just need to have like, hey bro, that's this kind of situation. So let's get out of that submission.
I think you're really right that letting go is a sign of maturity, and it's something that is a personal kind of task of mine. But also from the other side is I don't want to be complacent, and I don't want to say, oh, it's up to the next generations, let them be as good as they're gonna be, whatever. Fuck that, man. You're gonna be good, and you're gonna be as best that I can make you, and then you owe it to the next generation to make the next generations as best as possible, not to fuck off when it gets hard and when it gets a little bit less interesting, and I don't know, when the motivation maybe is not there. So it all depends on exactly what you want. At the end of the day, I want to see beautiful jiu-jitsu in this place, and I know that there's no way that I'm gonna see people performing high-level beautiful jiu-jitsu unless I help them see the better way to do it. If you just do it by heart, you're gonna go for some fighting approach, which can be good, but also can be kind of, I don't know, like you said, different.
Yeah. And I think you said the right thing. It's about helping, right? And I think it's so far you have been a teacher, right? You have been able to instruct people telling them what they should do, and they would be able to replicate it. And now it's not that easy anymore, because what you have been doing is not replicatable. Like, it's not as replicable, because there's no 10 Dekis who have the same motivation, the same mind, the same body, the same, So yeah, it's just there's gonna be a divergence in quality, but not necessarily a bad one, as long as you help them and stay with them. And I think you're in a good way. You have really good people. You have dedicated people who have stayed for many years already. This is also not something that everybody's able to do. And even if they're growing out into their own lives and cannot be there every day like they used to, they will still always be happy to come back. And these are your best ambassadors, the ones that make it out into the world. And yeah, this is why I came to you. You were there as an ambassador. There was Mattia. I think, yeah, it was Mattia, right? And you two were enough. Oh, and your brother. You three were enough for me to yeah, these are my guys. I'm definitely gonna visit them. And that's enough. Like, that's the same thing for a coach. You just need to do one cool move, or even after a roll, you tell them one cool thing, and they will appreciate you, and they will come back. Like, there's these the hidden gems are also often in the simplicity and in the little interactions.
But also, I think the main thing that's different about 10P Belgrade and its kind of inception and its whole kind of approach is that I really care. I really want something out of this. And as long as I have people who are obsessed and who want something out of this, we should be able to use that energy to guide them to achieve something that's great in one way or another. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Until the right person shows up with the right energy and with the right drive to take this over to the next level. And then now I'm at the stage that I have to think double ahead, not just who is the next person who's going to take over from me, but how can I empower that person to empower the person that's coming afterwards to still keep the level to whatever high standard we can at that time. That makes sense. And I think also there's a fact that all teams have an evolution internally that is going on. They maybe start by focusing on one aspect and then they focus on other aspects. We didn't have kids classes for the longest time. We only just started a couple of months ago. And to be honest, even though I was a bit skeptical about it, the girl who's leading those classes, I think she can really do that thing justice. So that's what I'm looking for now. People who have the drive, the initiative, the guts, to actually try and make something of this opportunity. Because, to be honest with you, only reason why the gym is closed is because there's nobody to hold a class at that particular time. Otherwise, my guys all have keys. If they have something going on, they can always come in here and do their own privates or just hang out and do whatever. So yeah, it's funny, but it's like a social center. I don't know how to explain it.
It is like that.
Everything.
It's like a youth center, a YMCA, whatever.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is like a bunch of. I always like the quote. It's like a bunch of yoga and surf bros who got together and figured out that fighting is fun. Yeah. Basically. So that's the approach that I'm trying to push.
And you're super successful at that, I have to say, because I have the comparison. We now have 10th Planet Maribor with Gregor Strakel, where I've been a lot. I've been, like, this year, I also 10th Planet Amsterdam. And I have to say, like, you were my first touch point in the 10P system, and you held the measurement really high. In terms of quality and in terms of technique, etc. And Gregor does something totally different. Gregor is a wrestling guy, Yeah. He has a 10P mindset, but all of a sudden he does 10P wrestling, and it's also super insane. So like 10P is, yeah.
So, sorry to interrupt you, but that's what I wanted to say. For me, that's the beautiful part about 10th Planet, because even though it has an overarching kind of system that it's suggesting to people to use, you still get to define your own journey. We have full MMA-based 10P schools. We have full wrestling-based Jiu-Jitsu school. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I decided that I want my guys to be more artistic, more focused on technique, more focused on this sophisticated approach. So what I'm trying to say is that I think you as the individual get to set your own standards, even though you're not a part of the 10th planet system. You're not limited. Only you get to choose, oh, I'm going to limit myself. I'm not going to do that because my coach said so. Right?
True.
Sorry, I interrupted you, bro.
No, that was great. That was really great. And it's just supported more of the message that I was like coming up with in my head. I also met BMAC at your gym. That's a story for a little bit later. I want to touch on a few other things. But he also does totally different jiu-jitsu. Of course, he does rubber guard and stuff like meat hook, and that's his thing. Like he was also learning from the legend Eddie himself, starting with magazines and then videos and stuff. But he also does his own thing, right? And that's the cool thing about the 10th planet, also with the visualization, right? Like they're all kind of planets, but they all look different, and they also all feel different. So this year, I went with my friends to Eddie's, to 10P HQ, and well, we were only in LA for one night, and unfortunately, it was 10 round Tuesday, so
Disaster.
it was terrible. We got
Massacre.
killed. Like Eddie came in, like we came a little bit early, and I was with Ibra, Chris, my two black belts, and Clemi, our brown belt. Like he's a machine. Fucker, he set out and he made the photos, and he had the best time of his life while we got sacrificed on the altar. You know, like Eddie opens the class, invites us, like, hey, super nice, cool that you're here, blah, blah. What belt are you? A purple belt, black belt? And Ibra's idiot. What belt are you? Oh, I'm a red belt. Anyways, I think that kind of sealed it for us, but Eddie was super cool. He told the guys purple, black belt, and it felt like, yeah, you guys are food now. And even though we were like, hey, can we do chill rounds? We've been training a lot. We're fucked. We got mauled. The nicest round that I had was with Chris Crawford.
Nice.
Who I actually told like, hey, we have a mutual friend back in Belgrade. Super cool. That was a super cool round, but everybody else there just wanted to kill us. And that's also why I love Jiu-Jitsu and I also love Eddie Bravo, but it can also become very cultish, right? And you could see like Ibra and Chris were so frustrated because everybody was just out for their heads. You know, like they were just like, hey, let's do a flow round. And it's like, boom, no, bam, I'm gonna kill you. And whenever I'm in top position, I'm gonna look at Eddie and make sure that he sees it. You know, like that was the feeling that we're having. We were really just like being slaughtered. And that's completely the opposite at your place. At your place, I really feel at home and I want to stay on the mats forever. And this is what I wanted to give you. You created a home for people.
And thank you for that. That's exactly the vision that I want. But also, to be frank and to be fair, the approach that I'm sharing is a little bit taking people's edge of their tooth off, whilst this more competitive brutality approach that Eddie still has at HQ is what he's hoping will create real warriors and so on and so forth. My whole thing is I don't want to create warriors. I don't give a fuck about how competent you are. I care much more how good of a person you are and how much you can see jiu-jitsu for what it is so that we can share it with other people. But that's my personal obsession. Of course, everybody owes it to himself to become his best kind of able to apply it as well. But to be honest, when you mentioned BMAC, when he was here, he actually kind of, not he gave me permission, but seeing him in person gave me permission to not chase that full alpha approach anymore. Because I felt that until then, I still had to prove something. As a kind of young black belt, I questioned myself the whole time, you know, especially getting a black belt in 6 years. That's fucking insane, bro. And a legit 10th planet black belt at that, not some, you know, bought it at fucking Piazza, I don't know. But basically, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
You were just saying like BMAC's visit gave you the
yeah. He gave me the kind of the different
approval,
perspective,
like,
so that I give myself permission to not be that alpha guy, to actually just to accept that just doing fun moves, which may be not effective on the streets, is good enough, if you understand. Because everybody wants to be effective on the streets. I don't fight on the streets. I don't want my students to fight on the streets. What the fuck are we talking about? To be honest with you, I don't want people to use their body as a weapon, whether it's as an attack, offensive or defensive weapon. To be honest, there are much better tools equipped that you can equip to use for that. I always like to say, you know that a sword, like a big sword, steel and super strong, when you take it to the battlefield and you whack a couple of people with it, it's gonna come back bent and bruised and chipped and so on and so forth. That's fucking steel. You are made of fucking, I don't know, bubblegum compared to that. Like you're nothing. If you understand what I mean, and you want to use your body as a self-defense, no, that's fucking delusional. I mean, of course, I'm training this martial art so that in case I have to use it, I will. But I'm not training it for that. I'm training it to make myself a better person, to make me see things for what they are, and ultimately to share it with others. And that's what I want to. Um, that's the thing that I want to create, an opportunity for self-replicating high-level jiu-jitsu coaches that are going to be sharing high-level jiu-jitsu outlooks to people so that over generations we can actually see better and better rather than everybody having to be self-taught and having to come up with their own solutions to angles and so on and so forth. Because it's a physical fucking problem, and physical problems have physical solutions. You know that rubber guard originally was done from the back. But these days, whenever I see somebody do rubber guard from the back, I'm like wincing and I'm like, oh shit, I'm just waiting for their knee to pop. Unless it's boogie. Then I'm like, okay, you probably have some alien fucking ligaments or something. I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, if you apply the same fucking technique from your hip though, it becomes super safe. So again, I want to create an opportunity for people to study these principles in a safe and sensible way.
Effective environment. Safe and effective.
Yeah, effective is up to you, to be honest.
I was
Safe and
making a vaccine
sensible is
joke.
more. Yeah, I know, but what I mean is the level that you're going to reach more depends on your personal predispositions than your environment. Your environment can help you, reach some upper percentages that are relevant at much later points in the journey. To be honest with you, even in the crappiest environment, you can become incredibly good if you're able and willing to apply yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not saying that you were in the crappiest environment, but and this is also the big evolution of grappling in the US or in Europe, right? Like once the methods got out there, the people who were able to get the information faster were able to improve faster, right? And some people they never really actually sought or like sought for information outside of their gym, right? So this is also how my journey started. I go in there and I'm going to a guru, right? Like he needs to tell me what I have to do, and I fully believe him. And this is like I think this is a lot of the first martial art contact. You go in there, there's a certain kind of authority. You see that people are doing something like, and you align. I was super lucky. I didn't start at a bad gym. Lucien was always really open, and cross training was super cool. And with my business travels, I was just like packing my bags and just training at every gym, like in every other city. And so I saw the differences in coaching, and also very early on with COVID. Then a friend posted the first John Danaher free move on BJJ Fanatics, where I don't know, you can kind of self train or something. And this is when for me like the self progression started and learning stuff. And I bought shit tons of instructional. I had good money, no way to spend it during COVID. So I spent everything in instructionals. I'm not sure if I even watched a tenth of them, because like, there's so much stuff. Because in the end, it is always the same somehow, right? And also in the beginning, the chaos is just so big and there's just so much to learn. And like only now I'm getting back to a few of the things that I watched back then or that I bought back then, because now it makes sense to apply it. But if you never know that it's out there, then you're really just fully relying on the person in front of you telling you the whole truth. And that is always super difficult.
Yeah, I never want to be the sole kind of source of information for my students. I always try to empower them as quickly as I can to be more self-taught, because I think the better coach you are, the better student you are, and vice versa. So I think if you're able to find effective ways to kind of install information into your mind and then trying to use that information to create a sensible set of applicable skills, I think you can achieve shit. Like, if you understand what I mean, there's a process that you follow. Nobody was born knowing this shit. That's what I always say to my students. They're like, "Oh man, it's so frustrating. I don't know how to do this." You don't know how to do this yet. You never tried. You have to fail upwards. You know, giving yourself permission to fail is one of the biggest lessons that kind of I've taken to heart on the mats. So that's one of the other things I'm really trying to share with people.
That's a super tough one. And I have the perfect counter example for that because I was taught in a different way, basically. So the coach that gave me my blue belt basically said that if you want to have a blue belt, you can never tap to a white belt again. You know? And I'm a 60 freaking kilo guy, and like everybody in Germany or in Austria is like at least 70 kilos on average, or like 75, you know, like how and I really implemented that. And then like whenever I had to tap, it was like super, super painful.
Yeah.
And like
Sounds good.
But how do you like it took me until I got my purple belt that I really, really wanted, you know, like my Chris, I have two coaches. The one wanted to give it to me, the other one didn't because I wanted it too much, right? But for me, it wasn't like I didn't want to show my purple belt. It was my own badge. Like for me, it was the badge that I wanted to become a coach in Jiu-Jitsu in the first class, I think. In the first class, I noticed like, holy shit, that's awesome. And I want to teach it. Like, you know, like competition, being a world champion, that never entered my mind. I just wanted to do something for myself. But once I was in there, it's like, oh yeah, I just don't want to do it to learn it myself, but I want to learn it to teach it to other people. And
when are you coming here to help us teach more?
anytime, bro, we can definitely talk about that actually.
Why not?
No, I'm like a freelancer. I have my own business. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, look, the truth with that is I'm very open, and first of all, I need help with teaching, and second of all, I'm very open with that. And the only thing is, I'm so reluctant to pull people from other organizations because I feel that they have a calling to contribute to those organizations where kind of I have to make things here, you know, work good. But I'm definitely going to need some kind of long-term assistance to make this project even into a more valuable resource for the community. So
I've been actually during this conversation, I came up with a lot of weird ideas. For example, I told you about school yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I think people like us who are coaching, we don't connect enough. We should have a school community where like avant-garde. I'm not want to call me special, but somebody who wants to break boundaries and ask difficult questions and talk about the things that are shit, you know, and like address them openly and talk about what is going good, what isn't, how to make coaches, how to make life better. I think this is something that we can work on. And yeah, let's take the other conversations offline as well, because it'd be definitely up to help you out somehow. I'm located here in Innsbruck and I love it, but I definitely can see myself hybridly helping because that's also how I came up with my business.
Let's be real. Innsbruck is a much nicer environment than fucking Vucic town over here. There's fucking madness over here. But if you want a couple of years of chaos, you're always welcome to join and see how you can contribute back. And like I said, for me, the most beautiful thing about this journey is being empowered to pay it forward. So if, as you said in the beginning, and thank you so for the kind words, but if I was actually able to contribute to your journey in any way, I don't need you to help back here. But if you can pay it forward by inspiring somebody else to kind of see that different way of approaching the fight game, trust me, you already done more than enough to basically have my gratitude back.
I definitely have ideas on how I can help, and I will make sure that I can help. But let's get to the other thing, because that enablement didn't stop by you showing me how you teach, letting me meet my Serbian roots for the first time, and actually having really. I was there alone. Like these were, I think, my first trips where I was completely alone, and I just loved it so much. And like your gym was part of it. And the third time that I came, like the first time was just I met you guys. Now I have to do it. It was just like the gut feeling. The second time, it was going bad at work. I was quitting at my job. You know, like it was long time overdue. I was breaking up with my girlfriend, and for me that was like a renaissance. And I booked 2 weeks. And 2 weeks I just trained with you guys, stayed there for New Year's, and then went back and started my new life, started my new job. And then the year after, I was like, yeah, I was now in Belgrade 2 years already. Like, not sure if I can. And then you all of a sudden posted BMAC is coming. And I
I guess
didn't
you're
really,
coming to Belgrade again.
yeah, well, and I did. And it was the best freaking decision of my life.
Yeah, man.
BMAC not only gave an amazing seminar, like, first of all, let me walk you guys through who BMAC actually is. Brandon McCaffrin, 10th Planet Black Belt by Eddie Bravo. One of the nicest guys ever. He came with his wife, Lindsay, and his filmer, and one of his best friends, Keelan. And BMAC did the seminar. He went to everybody, shook their hand, asked for their name, told their name back, like the respect that he brought to each individual, then how he talked about Lindsay and how he talked about Keelan. The way that he created an environment for the seminar was amazing. You know, like there was just so much, like he basically built a fruitful ground that you already built, but he, you know, like he's a star, but he made him so approachable. And it was so easy. And for me, like the crazy thing is like, where I feel like it's a little bit of destiny, this whole Serbia 10P and then Belgrade, is that my favorite move in Jiu-Jitsu since the beginning is a triangle. And which move did he teach? He came to teach a freaking triangle. I'm like, what the hell? He took one of your guys as uke, and then like after a few rounds, he saw that I'm a triangle guy, and he's like, oh, I'm also a little bit lighter, so more his body weight. And he used me as his uke. We kind of hit it off. We did the first roll. In the second roll, he got hit by a white belt and didn't roll anymore. But this created such a amazing moment, like a time ripple for me. Because we then sat on the mat. I think like it was the day after where BMAC was. It was just 3 or 4 of our guys. BMAC was shown a little bit of like deep half guard stuff. And then we were talking.
I think we were playing guitar, chilling here.
Exactly. No, that was in the evening, but like I remember like the next day, like the guitar was afterwards, but I remember him telling about the PGF, and I never really heard of it. Like I think I heard something, but I thought it was the PFL actually. And then Keelan was talking about it, and Beeman explained, and they're building a jiu-jitsu league. They already did it in Alabama now during COVID. They rented, like first they did it in the gym, then they had the church, like the small event venue, and now they're bringing it, like, don't tell it to anybody, but we're probably gonna bring it to Vegas with the UFC. I'm like, wow. Yeah, if you ever want to bring it to Europe, hit me up, because I have an event management background. I would love to get back into events that I love. So he's like, yeah, why don't you come to Vegas? And I was like, yes. So I left. A few months passed. We stayed in touch. And I saw the PGF news, and I asked him, hey, how does it look like? He's like, yeah, sorry, we don't have any money. He's like, first of all, I cannot easily work in the US, right? So working permit and everything. So that's absolutely, I never thought of being paid. I just wanted to be there and like see it and help, and like, and he's like, oh, if it's like that, like, I said, like, if you can just get me a bed, I'm gonna be fine. And he did. And then I went to PGF for the first time in Vegas. I met a rock star in Zoltan Bathory, the guitarist of Five Finger Death Punch. I met Jean-Jacques Machado, Eddie Bravo, you know, like all the freaking legends, like, and that's all because of you as well, you know. So, and
it's because you dared to allow your life to present those opportunities, and you seized them, to be honest. But thank you for actually attributing at least part of that to this whole project.
But thank you likewise for giving this opportunity. But yeah, so I went to the PGF, and I went again, and then I went again with my friends this time, and I took Ibra and Chris and Clemi to see the guys. And we talked with BMAC and Zoltan about bringing the PGF to Europe. And I want to bring a PGF qualifier to Innsbruck. And yeah, let's see where else we can bring it, because I think Europe is now really stepping on the map. There's a bunch of big competitors coming out. IBJJF Euros Worlds have been almost dominated by Europeans. So I think we're at a good place in time where we can make even more good things with this network that you also helped create. Because I think in the end, the jiu-jitsu schools that are open, whether be 10th Planet or not, 10th Planet just had I was just thinking when you said it, it's not like it's that one brand like Gracie Baja where everybody has to do the same thing, right? Eddie did what Jean-Jacques did. He lets Gregor do his stuff in 10th Planet, and he lets you do his stuff. You don't agree with everything that he does, but you're still in one network, one system, right? And I think this is how jiu-jitsu should be perceived all over. You know, like we were training at AOJ, at 10P, at 10P Vegas as well. And you know, like I'm always keen to meet new people and see how they're working on the highest level. You know, like the way that AOJ is working, it is also their own system. You know, like they're also their own little church, their own little cult, and they also have a few tweaks and a few special things that they're doing that make them super special. Which is like they completely onboarded their coaches on how to manage customers. The way their coaches and the staff is working, it's insane. And they're created this network where they're bringing people from everywhere and they're giving them jobs within the company, you know, like within AOJ to help them sponsor like or fund themselves, right? And this is something amazing. And I think this is something that all good jiu-jitsu schools can actually provide. And this is the school that I'm part of, and I have the honor to be able to teach at, does as well. Like they are from the beginning looking for new people to get into it. You know, like from the very first, like after half a year or so, they started scouting us as coaches. You know, so, and I think this is something that can only happen like once you let go a little bit of your ego, right? And this is oftentimes in a lot of schools the biggest problem, right? And also in companies, it's normal. Like you're usually promoting to incompetence, right? At some point, the people are getting higher up, and oftentimes there's this kill your heroes moment, right? Either my coach is giving me the freedom to grow and to do my own thing with my environment, or the split happens, right? For you, that split happened at Blue Belt, but I don't think that split has to happen. I think, unfortunately, it mostly happens due to rigid egos.
Yes, but I think it's to do with a little bit this old school classic jiu-jitsu mindset of Poha Caralho, you know, Creonte, you're with us or you're against us, and this kind of
But isn't that also
look,
ego?
definitely, but look, to be honest with you, I understand my old coach these days because I think he had a wish, you know, he had some expectations that he built up. And basically, by me deciding to be more independent, he felt that that was kind of putting into question. Where, like you said, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. But I think his kind of old school ways prevented him from seeing the bigger picture at that point in time. You know, years later, we came together and we, you know, shook each other's hand and we kind of overcame that kind of past and whatever. Because me personally, I didn't even care, you know, even back then, I didn't want to have bad relationships, you know, relations with him. I just, okay, if you don't want to be my coach, okay, so be it. But at the end of the day, you get to build the next generations of jiu-jitsu in the sense that you are now setting the standard. If you kind of be that kind of a person who feels that they own their students, you're gonna basically just create that perpetual fucking circle of just spiraling down into status quo, basically staying the same. And it takes people who are willing to make a change to actually get it to happen. So with people like being more open these days, I'm hoping that it's gonna, you know, phase out by itself. But it's up to the individuals at the end of the day. If people still want to create, you know, blood, sweat, and tears environments, they will do so, and that's good for them. Some people need that, eh? Some people need their coach to scream on them and tell them, "You're late 5 minutes now. You're gonna do push-ups and squats and I don't know what bullshit." Whereas I'm like, okay, cool, you're late. Try not to be late next time. You know what the fuck? Who cares? So yeah, it all depends on the environment we want to create, and we are creating it. Don't be fooled. Like, oh, that's for example one of the things that frustrates me on the competition. One of the local competitions, they took the rules from ADCC, and one MMA team. They're going to compete against jiu-jitsuers, And their tactics, their strategy is for the first 3 minutes to just run away. And by running away, I mean literally doing jumping jacks and running around the opponent, which is like absurd, bro. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, it should be disqualified immediately. Like, warning, disqualification. Avoiding the fight, bam, 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 finished. Within 1 minute, finished. That's it. The guy's running around for 3 minutes like it's a fucking marathon. And the referee's not doing anything about it under the excuse, no, we will give him minus points when the minus points phase starts. Fuck you, disqualify him for avoiding the fight. We came here to fight, not to run the fuck away. What the fuck is this? And that's what I want to basically say is that we need to set if that is allowed by the rules of Jiu-Jitsu, you have to change the fucking rules. You understand what I mean? Like, you as the organizer, you allowed that guy to do that. The player, it's not the player's fault if he is running around like an idiot and the rules and the referees are allowing him to do that without penalizing it. You understand? It's the organization and the rules that are at fault. And
man, you're opening up a whole different chapter now.
But check this out. The older you are in Jiu-Jitsu and the more you go deeper into the kind of obligation side of Jiu-Jitsu, I think we have to do that, is change the status quo. Okay, I said it in the competition sense. You were saying it in the gym culture sense. But at the end of the day, to each their own. You understand what I mean? Like, let those tough guys be tough guys. I'm going to create this team of fucking pussy nerds who are killers as well in their own right. And then let whatever guy who wants to have it somewhere in between find their own whatever approach works for them. So, yeah. And the same thing for rules. Who knows what rules are the most best rules and so on and so forth. That's another topic, like you said, entirely.
Well, but that's a cool topic as well, if you still want to talk about it.
I don't mind.
Because PJF, right? This is exactly what they're doing. And I think you said it so nicely with the older you are in Jiu-Jitsu, maturing, right? So BMAC, he does not have to do a freaking Jiu-Jitsu league. He can be doing well with his coaching and with the seminars and with his speaking gigs. He would be well off. Instead, he creates so much stress for himself, which of course he loves to, by creating a Jiu-Jitsu league, because he wants Jiu-Jitsu to be mainstream. And I think it definitely, in my opinion, Jiu-Jitsu is one of the best things that can happen to anybody in their lives. Of course, it can also have disastrous effects, like I tore my ACL this year. I'm still standing. I didn't get a surgery. I'm continued training. Fuck it. But yeah, bad things can happen. Still, it is one of the best things that happened to me in life. And I think it does not have the proper representation yet. And I'm not sure which one is. You said, yeah, ADCC. I think it's cool that you as a jiu-jitero or jiu-jitsu guy, you can compete in IBJJF, which is a totally different rule set than ADCC, which is then a totally different rule set than PGF. And for me, the most fun to watch is either I watch people who I like or know. For example, like Shay was on my podcast and I loved watching him compete, even though usually when he competes in the gi, like all of the matches are just like advantages, right? Like, it's so tactical. It's such a high level chess match that it can, like, to the mainstream viewer, it will not be interesting. But like what Brandon does with the PGF, and I talked to Shay as well, like, he would not be interested in competing in something like the PGF. Like, for him, the IBJJF rule set is perfect. And he's one of the best guys in the world. But I, for example, also like to watch the PGF. And I like to watch the PGF for its entertainment factor and for its, like, the stardom factor, more or less. Because, like, what made the sports that we love and we watch on TV, what made them so great? It was that the people were seeing themselves in the people, right? Like, they were able to get their idols, and now the biggest sports stars are so big because they're icons. Like, so you actually are connecting more with a person than with a sport. And I think this is something where Jiu-Jitsu has to do more of, and where, for example, like IBJJF or grappling industries, of course, they cannot do that. And also all of the big amateur events, they cannot create the hype enough, because they also need to create opportunities, right? And when you have thousands of fights, which the athletes need, you will not always have the most entertaining ones. But if you have different sorts of platforms like UFC, BJJ, PGF, you know, like, you go to different sources of jiu-jitsu for different kind of entertainment or for different kind of competition. You create a whole ecosystem that, even though it is like somehow separated, where people are preferring to compete at this kind of events, it is still all the same sport. And not only jiu-jitsu, but it also brings in wrestling, sambo. You know, like it's such a, like the opportunity for jiu-jitsu is so endless. And especially when it comes to rule sets, which in MMA is different, right? Like there is the one rule set more or less that is like fixed, but in jiu-jitsu we're still experimenting, we're still finding
But even
out.
the MMA rule set changes every 10 years or so. So why the fuck wouldn't the jiu-jitsu rule set? I mean, even IBJJF Mafia added the heel hooks
Heel
to
hooks,
the
yeah.
black belt category after years of it being super controversial. After them not allowing a fucking reaping position, like it's gonna hurt people, bro. Man, if ripping people is gonna hurt people, we would have here a fucking, I don't know, wheelchair special. But that's not the case. Reaping is only going to hurt people if you fight against it. The lockdown is only going to hurt people if you fight against it. The problem with, at least the way that I perceive it, is that a lot of people are, like I said earlier in the podcast, is a lot of people are doing jiu-jitsu to fight. And in the fighting sense, if you fight, you don't want to let your opponent achieve anything on you. And you're allowing yourself to miss the bigger picture of what's actually going on, and that's why people fall into my traps and so on and so forth. But to be honest, my style, like I mentioned to you also before, it's not the best for if you put me in a cage to fight against some hyper athlete, if you understand. Maybe a more simple game with a much more intense physical kind of application is more making
More
sense
suited,
in
yeah.
that context. Exactly. It's the context that matters. And with the rules that you said, the same fucking thing applies. What is that you want? What is it that you want to achieve with the rule set? What are you trying to extract? And with the PGF, what I love is the kill. That when you choke somebody to death, it scores more than if I just get a joint lock on you, even if it's a devastating one. So all of that interesting. And look, let's be real. Also, IBJJF rules are also made in kind of attempt of a sensible rule set, in the sense that kind of there's positions that where I can through punches achieve damage onto you, and I'm gonna score those in a hierarchical kind of sense. So that also makes sense. But to be honest with you, I don't think there's an optimal rule in jiu-jitsu, because it depends what you want. If you want there to be violence, EBI is the worst possible rules. If you want there to be technical exchanges, perhaps that's a good rule set. But it all depends exactly what you want to achieve.
Absolutely. Nice. So I think we reached a good length of the podcast, and I was just wondering, and also with the conversation we had yesterday, when thinking of your own mission, what is it that you want to achieve now?
So, like I mentioned, at least I'm convinced that at this point, the next stage of the 10P Belgrade journey is to create a team of people who are going to be able to continue this spirit when I'm basically not able to contribute to this anymore. So whatever it takes in order for the next kind of year for me to be a little bit more, having a little bit more time to focus on other things, and then over the next 5 years, 10 years, to slowly start to phase out my kind of hard commitment towards kind of being super available to teach every day and so on. So I think focusing on that is going to be the main thing, because to be honest with you, after this kind of period of years of holding the pedal to the metal, it's now time to let the new generations burn out while I support them in achieving their own dreams. That's basically my hope.
And I'm pretty sure you're gonna achieve this. Yeah, Deki, thank you so much for everything, including, of course, this great conversation. And yeah, I hope to see you soon in real life.
Anytime. Just send us some text, and you're gonna come here, and we're gonna have a great time.
Let's go.
Right
Don't
about
hang
that.
up yet. We're gonna.
Yeah, don't worry.